Some of you may not know this about me, but up until about 7 years ago, I worked for 7-Eleven. Yeah, it had its ups and downs. I had some bad managers, bad days, bad customers even. But for the most part, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was really close to where I worked, so I almost never had to worry about being late. I mean, it was like a 10-minute walk in good weather. It paid more than what the minimum wage was in Colorado at the time. It actually paid more than I was making at the previous job, Pizza Hut, so, there was that. And when I got fired from 7-Eleven, it was my own fault. It was nothing malicious, it was a mistake, but it was a mistake that cost me my job. It's like, I didn't want to lose it, my manager didn't want to let me go, but that was just the way it had to be. Not going to get into that, because that's not what this particular episode of Rants vs. Zombies is about. But just to preface this a little more, my next job was at Taco Bell, and I got fired from there too, for completely bullshit reasons, and I had to go to court to get my unemployment benefits reinstated, and unfortunately failed, even though Taco Bell admitted that they did. The point is, even because of how the unemployment process works, I had to file for unemployment for my previous two jobs, not just the one I was fired from, but the one before it. And 7-Eleven, even though they were well within their rights to deny me, actually approved it, which I didn't expect. So a company that I had deserved to be fired from treated me better than the one I didn't. So that's why it hurt a little when I saw the news fairly recently that 7-Eleven has been using ICE, also known as the organization where you go when you're too racist to be a cop, to basically, as a weapon against some of its franchise owners. The story comes from Bloomberg. There'll be a link to it in the show notes. But it is so gross, this story. And, I don't... This is just absolutely vile what 7-Eleven has done here. I mean, we already know how bad ICE is. We've heard about the, ambushing women outside of courthouses where they were trying to get restraining orders against their abusers, children dying in ICE custody, the concentration camps for children along the border. So for 7-Eleven to use them as a weapon to deal with franchisees that they don't particularly care for, that is disgusting. That is Nazi collaboration levels of immorality. And I honestly expected better. And it's like, I know that 7-Eleven is as problematic as any other company in the world, but compared to a lot of them, they were so much better. They were definitely better to me personally. And it was just, seeing this just really pissed me off no end. But I mean, they're just doing this to, this is, just like this line from the article. The immigration crackdown has also given 7-Eleven something potentially useful: the name of franchisees who might be in legal jeopardy. Store owners found in violation of immigration law could be in breach of their franchise agreements. And as they well know, 7-Eleven has the contractual right to take back a store from someone who violated his or her agreement. Here's the thing. ICE loves to round up people who... They've rounded up people who aren't even immigrants. They're just brown. Hence the whole ICE is where you go when you're too racist to be a cop thing I said earlier. And honestly, they will... If they can't find something, they will invent something to charge someone with when it comes to immigration. And it is just... ICE is disgusting, and what 7-Eleven is doing is just as bad, and I am so angry about this that I've actually skimmed over a lot of the stuff I want to talk about for this video, and I wish I'd taken notes. This has pissed me off so much that I can't even remember most of what I was going to say. ICE is just one of the worst organizations in the country. ICE needs to be just completely abolished. It needs to go. And for 7-Eleven to cooperate with them, to weaponize them, that is just fucking unforgivable. And I imagine I'd be pretty pissed about this if I didn't have a by and large positive experience with 7-Eleven as a corporation when I was employed there. But just... ugh. And this is especially gross when you realize, as I did, reading about this story, that after 9/11, when Muslims and Sikhs who got mistaken for Muslims, or let's face it, anyone with skin darker than Emma Watson was being harassed, they put out commercials celebrating immigrant store owners. And in 2002, the company's 75th anniversary party was staged on Ellis Island. Ellis Island. So, I'm not going to pretend that 7-Eleven was some massive beacon of progressivism, but this is still a pretty major fall for this company. And it is just... honestly, there are other convenience stores that have items that are fairly similar to the Slurpee. They have all sorts of names for them. Freezies, Ices, Slushies. I think Slushies is just from The Simpsons. But, if you feel the need for that kind of item, go somewhere else. 7-Eleven needs to be hit in the pocketbook over this. They really do. You know the old saying, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed? Well, here, I'm mad and disappointed. Because again, they gave me unemployment benefits when they were well within their rights not to. And I just remembered that I ended up spending some of that employment money on the fucking To Boldly Flee DVD. Now I'm sad as well as mad and disappointed.